Everyone, Ronnie Chalvis here, and today we're going to be learning 10 different ways to side flip. So, let's jump into it. So our first obvious side flip is going to be the punch side flip, just here on flat ground. Basically what you're doing is you're going to block off the ground like you would a front flip. You're going to punch it, not so much punch it if you're on hard ground, but on a spring floor you can punch it hard. Then I'm going to set tall, and I'm going to bring everything to the side and tuck it in tight and do the punch side flip. Here we go. Next up, we have the Webster side flip. So unlike the punch side flip, we're actually going to be taking off one leg and kicking the other leg. That kicking leg is going to whip you around pretty quick. So although it's harder to get as much height off of one leg, that's where your other kicking leg comes in to whip you around quicker. With side flips, you can tuck in front of your knees or behind your knees, whatever's comfortable and whatever style you're going for. You can also do side flips with a tuck, or you can do it with with your legs laid out, which is a pretty cool style. I don't know what to call that. Our next side flip is a wall side flip, or a trinity flip if you're doing 2 steps into a wall side flip. This setup, you're coming at it at a slight angle, but instead of pushing straight back into a back flip, kind of planting your foot to the side, and then you're just trying to set that side flip away from the wall, just like you do a normal side flip. Just make sure on your kicking leg, you want to use that to make sure you kick straight over, because sometimes when you're kicking off the wall, it's easy to throw it off axis. So just really try and focus keeping your hips in line with where your chest is as you flip over. While we're still at the wall, there's also the inward side flip. So this one you're actually punching and flipping towards the wall, doing a side flip. Main thing with this one, so you don't crash into the wall, is make sure you plant your leg directly in front of you and that you're setting your chest up as you push away, and your rotation you want to try and keep straight up and not too much going into the wall, but not too far out, otherwise it'll be hard to get the rotation around. So you just kind of find that nice balance of kicking the wall, tucking it around. Alright, moving on to our next side flip. It's going to actually be kind of a different trick. It's called the double leg. I'm only counting it as a side flip because it's a very similar setup to the side flip and is almost just a variation of the side flip. But basically what you're doing with the double leg is you're going to go into it like a side flip, but instead of tucking it and bringing your knees in, you're going to try and whip your hips up, keep your legs straight, and try and whip your legs all the way around with your legs straight. Now you can either land sideways or landing facing backwards. Usually landing facing backwards I feel like is the easier way to land, but just mess around with it, have fun with it. Basically that looks like this. Or on flat ground, double leg. Our next side flip is going to just be a side flip from the trampoline, but with a gyro. The side flip gyro, this is just where you do a 360 after you tuck the side flip. So here we go. Our next side flip is a fun one. It's one of my favorites. This is a Superman side flip or an airplane side flip, depending on how you have your arms. I like to have my arms out like this because it feels cooler, but I'm gonna go off the trampoline so I can get a ton of air to stall it as long as possible. The goal of this is just, as you jump into it, to have momentum going into the side flip, but then you open up immediately to slow it down, hang that position as long as you can, but then as you start falling, you tuck it in and spot your landing. Looks something like this. Okay, our next flip is going to be the tunnel flip. The reason it's called a tunnel flip is because you're doing a side flip while moving forward. So it's almost like you're on a skateboard doing a full circle around a tunnel. That's the motion your body is doing. And so there's 2 variations to this move. You can go off your same leg you normally side flip off of and just jump it forward. It's gonna look like a weird off-axis side flip moving forward, but the cooler way to do it is to actually jump off your opposite leg and kick your normal jumping leg while still side flipping the way you usually side flip, and then it creates a really cool flashy motion with your legs as you go into the tunnel flip. Next up we have the side flip precision. Now, unlike the front flip precision, this one I think is actually easier if you have your side flips mastered, because you can actually spot your landing all the way around. Whereas a front flip, it's a blind precision. This one, you can spot it as you jump and then spot it as you land, which makes it pretty nice. So here we go, side flip precision. There we go. Our next side flip is going to be the devil drop side flip. So this is when you're hanging on a pole, a wall, or a handrail, and then you do an inward side flip from the hang and jump away from the object you're hanging on. So we're gonna do it right here on this pad with this trussing. So our last side flip of the day is 2 side flips together in the air, the double side flip. This one, you just wanna make sure you get really high, whip it super fast, tuck it in super tight. When I first started learning double side flips, it was hard to keep my knees in because of that force from spinning so fast. It like wanted to make my body open up, so just make sure you hold it tight. Start off going into a foam pit, but otherwise, here's the double side flip. And one variation of the double side flip is actually throwing in an airplane in the middle of it. So you do one side flip, open up, and then tuck it again. It's also known as the can opener. So, check it out. There we go. So there you have it. There's 10 ways to side flip and a few variations of some of those side flips. I also put together a playlist of a bunch of the tutorials I've done on some of these side flips so you can get a more in-depth tutorial on how to learn some of these moves. So be sure to check that out in the description. But otherwise, be sure to subscribe for more tutorials and parkour videos. Thanks for watching.